are now in Flying Cloud. So let's look at the side laners to have a lot more impact here. A lot more aggressive trades in the lanes as you can go back into your lane quicker if ever you do lose and you're forced to go back. CG, as expected, will take away the Grog. I think this has to be a standard for CG. They cannot give Steffa his Grog. Yep.
Who will win this match? Earlier, it was such a close fight in our fandom wars, but right now it seems like CG, aside from their on-site fans, are leading it. We got to see the Latam fan base.
We did. They are awake, and at the very least, it'll take a little bit of time before they start putting their their points up on the board for who will win this match. Because again, time zone difference, real annoying. But at the same time, BSE, they got rid of the Claude. They're getting rid of the Jushin. These have been standard bans all across M7. The only thing is, what are they trying to set up now that Yuzong is gone?
Yeah.
Take away this. I was actually about to say that maybe they want to get the sword for themselves, but they decided to ban it out.
It's interesting. Because even the Claude, now that it's gone, makes you wonder what could be the priority for CG.
Oh, they can go Kalea. If we're just looking at the main priorities on blue side.
Or the Lancelot.
Yeah, but I'd be a bit hesitant to pick up the Lancelot, again, considering that the Hilda's still open, Cho's still open.
Yeah.
You have a lot of heroes that can pressure the jungle, continuously get vision against that Lance.
I think they pick Eve.
Take it away from Shin, of course, yeah.
But the thing is that, like...
What's your command?
Oh, Fanny as well. This is so smart of BSE. Okay, so now artillery majors are on the table. It's just which do you prefer? Do you think that Eve is going to be a little bit more useful here, or do you prefer the Farsa? Because if you get Eve, there's a chance you could go for Uranus, Fredrin. If you go for Farsa, Kalia just seems like the better option.
Yeah. I think that's our top two right now. Either the Eve or Kalea. It's up for CG to decide which one that they won't get.
And then they lock in something like Lapu and be like Joe.
Or the Cho again.
Oh, Cho once more. That's also a pretty good option.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're taking their time.
Take away an option for Steffa. You have something that could lock down hide on push if ever. So Eve, great call there. That is going to be the first pick. Black Sentence, I just want to see them pick up one of the assassins now.
They can go for the Shunshin if they want
Yes.
to. It is a little susceptible to the Hayabusa, knowing that Farsa is probably the only other option still left for mid laners other than Lunox, but you can force them into the Lunox, but then mid lane becomes a little stale at that point.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow. I did not expect the Boxer pick, I will be honest. Though it is undefeated right now in Swiss. The Hilda makes sense. They know they're going up against an assassin. They'd want to pressure on that. Maybe that's why they paired it up with the Boxer, but I feel like they could have gone a different route to this.
Ooh.
They never had to worry about the Boxer not being available for them.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a bit of a yes and no, because I feel like at the end of the day, it's weird that they're picking up within like first rotation. I'm almost thinking maybe like a third and potentially fourth pick here, but since they've showed it up super early, there's literally no reason for the side of CG to actually go for the Fredrin in the first place, unless they truly just want to play around Chiku. There we go. Carry, they've also got lockdown. Farsa finally gets locked in. This is telegraphed.
Yeah. The carry pickup, such a great response to both the Hilda and the Vaksha already revealed for SE. I can't help but think what could be their bold later in this scenario.
Do they have to play Granger? Are they locked into Granger? They could go for Harith if they want to.
There's a Neve though, but
Yeah, it's not the easiest.
I mean, no matter what, the mid lane's just gonna mess with you. So it's just, you gotta take your licks.
I'm thinking though that what if we're getting kind of fooled here by Black Sentence? What if this Boxer's a flex? What if they haven't completely locked it in the jungle and it might suddenly go roam? They put the Hilda and EXP if the matchup is favorable for them. That way they can still apply pressure towards the jungle of CG. CG will take away the Moskov. They are playing a static gold. But then they're just egging on Black Sentence to, okay, yes, freely pick the Granger at red 4. You guys are going to be fine with that Granger.
Yeah, I think I think they're okay with it. I think that right now CG has set up, they're like, Gary, you are going to play Fredrin whether you like it or not. If not, you might end up with something like Alpha, you know, because we're scared that maybe Hilda is just going to mess with you. But either way, since you've got a tank, you're generally, or a fighter, you're generally not worried at all. Unless maybe BSE decides to whip out like a random double fighter style composition, but I don't see how it scales with just Farsa.
Yeah, might be a bit too tricky for this lineup too.
Okay.
Are they banking on a CC?
I think they're going to go Uranus, Fredrin.
Oh no, also CG are probably thinking that Black Sentence can just pick up the YSS here also. If ever the Baxia is actually not the jungle pick for them.
Experience the euphony.
Oh, yeah, there. Granger at 4, as expected.
Super safe. This entire time, Kalia has just not been touched, by the way. It's just, nobody cares about it. Apparently not a great hero.
I still think that maybe the Hilda is already rogue. The Baxia maybe not flexible anymore than it is his jungle. Let's work around that assumption, and it is Kalea Farsa. Great combo.
If we end up Uranus into Baxia, it's not the worst matchup possible for him. Maybe if you like mess up hard at level 1, but other than that, you should be able to kind of get in and out of these fights relatively easy at max stacks. You just never take the EXP crab. You just leave it there. Yeah, just the farm.
Oh.
Okay, glue works as well. Joy as an assassin makes a lot of sense. Still, plenty of, again, there were a lot of jungle options. Open, let's just pick your poison at this point. The glue is relatively interesting because I feel like as much as the Uranus probably would have been helpful, the Baxia is just too much of an issue. The little globlets, little tiny Patricks, are able to actually absorb the damage from Baxia.
I love how we already assume that he's going to be using the Patrick skin.
I mean, if you're not, you're trolling, right? It clearly gives you more power.
Yeah, if the Patrick doesn't come up, I'm going to request for a pause myself. Like, wait, is this the bug?
You're waving down the marshal. Stop the game!
Where's the Patrick skin?
That's not the right skin!
Okay, we did get to see the Glue Arlot matchup yesterday, and it was more of a battle outside of the lane and became more of their effect when it came to the big major team fights, so they were all together. Baxia jungle getting shown early. This is a Black Sentence comfort, it feels like, something they are used to playing in LATAM. It's game number 1 of our second series, LATAM versus Malaysia. Black Sentence versus CG. I want to bring this vibe in this real quick first. Do you have a preferred lineup at the end of the draft?
I have to say, after what happened yesterday, I might be siding a bit more, definitely with CG.
Yeah, with the
glue. Because it's gonna like help so much, and the amount of frontliners that are, see, there goes the Patrick skin, as confirmed. And the amount of frontliners here that are present for BSE. So there's a direct response, but we'll see about that. This is still a very fast rotating draft that Black Sentence has drafted, so maybe, just maybe, if they get the right tempo.
I think that's what this game is going to be about, right? It's all about tempo. These smaller trades that we see in these fights. Oh God.
Speaking of tempo, immediately looking for Chiku in mid, and now look at how low Valence is. He's actually going to be first blood. Gary gets a trade on Hide on Bush though, so I guess it's worth it.
Worth it for CG, not worth it for Black Sentence. They lose their
CG,
jungler so early.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends, right? Because this has a lingering effect. Because Chico is now too low. He might lose some EXP here just because of that initial fight.
Yeah, in a way, it's a utility jungler too that they took out. So I guess it isn't as bad for Black Sentence just yet. And it's nice to see how aggressive it is, but
I mean, he's gotta stop. He's gotta stop.
Are you not gonna go? Oh, Gary's there. Maybe that's why. So they get some assistance in terms of clearing the mid lane.
I like how Chiku's just playing it right at the edge, man.
I swear, if there was another gang from like underneath the tower from Hide on Rush, that would have been frustrating.
Of course, as Hide on Bush went down, he had to go back to his rotations. Pass out the F3 and Valence. Turtle will now spawn. And Hide on Bush, despite the early death, still willing to contest.
Emblems are still standard as ever, as we see that a majority of members are hitting the level 4s. In terms of supports, Defe, slight EXP advantage onto Valence. They're not going to have their big ults. And I think this is a pretty good example of when you should probably back away from the fight.
Okay, A3 now trying to look for a target. Steffe though, he's finding Chico. Chico though, using the Cyclone Eye and laid down the real-world manipulation just in time. Picks up a double kill. Gary gets to run away. Steffe uses the flicker, but now he'll have to say goodbye as well. Yeah, 3. Can he take him down?
Why?
Gary helps him, but he gets taken down instead. What?
He just needed to walk up, skill 1, walk backwards, save your dash in case he tries to close the distance. Because at the end of the day, all you want to do is just negate a bit of HP before the Wilderness Blessing. What? I tried.
Not in the direction they wanted. Doom lives instead.
Oh my, Valence. Doom, of course, not backing Purify. That's just Flicker, and he didn't even use it.
Oh my goodness,
Oh!
Chico in mid! Early shut down by Steffe.
Now you see the Black Sentence plan, right? They're trying to target Chico as much as they can, and they know that he can take this type of pressure. They know that Steffe can get onto him for free because Valence is looking on the opposite side. I'm not looking to try and peel just yet. I want big sets, and I want to make sure that Shin will never feel comfortable to actually feathered airstrike. At least Valence able to hold away for his boy, catches back up.
Yeah, row mid trio. Focused rotations by both. Just a slight lead here for Steffe on the Hilda. Both did pack Encourage, but he did get 2 kills already. Skypiercer rush
Whoa.
for Doom after building the Fury Hammer.
Oh, they spot Valence here. Curse of the Crowd connects, and now Orochi dives in. Using the final slash as well. Gary finding the targets, and they will trade out Orochi for that. A roam for an EXP lane.
Yep, very worth it, especially since Orochi had the flicker for it as well. So they know that this upcoming fight, Orochi's not going to be able to do too much and can't make a super play of his own to turn those tides. But they got to be careful because now Amzik is having to deal with a lot of pressure from the 3 members of Black Sentence as they look to position for this upcoming turtle.
Great follow-up by Orochi. Hopefully we get to see more link-ups like that. Final slash, make it worth.
Once again, Hide on Bush starting things up for Black Sentence. There's the
Yo.
counter real-world manipulation though, but Valence, before he even gets to complete the Way of the Dragon, gets bursted down. Hide on Bush now gone as well. Gary still finding Orochi, and Amzik joining the fight helps so much in terms of the damage that CG Esports is able to throw out. He takes down Jin, but Doom picks up a double.
Okay, double. Very important for Black Sentence. They get 2 stacks for their Granger. Skypiercer built up before that. Hopefully they stop sending their jungler as the main frontliner slash roamer.
Whoa.
But Chiku gets the purple buff last hit, taking it away from Hide on Bush. I know he's a utility jungler, but maybe stop sending him in front all the time.
Honestly, considering they're winning out like a majority of these trades, let's find out!
Oh, Gary still finds the objective. Final Slack doesn't connect. Steffe was trying to run after him, but Chiku, he's just blocking the way. Look at that purple buff, Eve. Oh,
Okay, all right. He's able to kind of just show the border here, and that's the most important part. As Orochi has already used his final slash, Amzik, again, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. He is the main win condition, as Chiku is now in a phenomenal position. Look, he's a full 900 gold against his opponent. He's 5-1 and 4 against Shin, and Shin only has completed a Lightning Truncheon. In terms of DPS output, Shin should be the one who's feeling overwhelming. However, this glowing wand is doing a lot of work. Steffe can't walk up comfortably. Orochi isn't going to be able to sustain as long as he would like to. Even Hide on Brush has to be a little careful.
every single time. Every single time Black Sentence tried to go for Chiku. But now it's Chiku who's up there in terms of the leads. So that's potentially denying Black Sentence of their initial plan, so they might have to change things up a bit. Now Valence trying to look for Doom, once again lands the kick, but maybe not in the direction that they wanted. Gary fortunately was there though to finish off the kill. A bit of slows from the Void Crystal, but does Gary have a way out of this? He doesn't, as he's getting shut down by Hide on a bush.
All right, with all of that happening, CG Esports get to push up top as Amzik free to split push, but the reduction on the turret's still up, so he's gonna stop that. That was a great setup between Gary and Valence.
I don't know if Gary messed up there. I don't know if his dash was still on cooldown or he tried to dash and then got hit by the rolling pin of Hide on Bush.
I feel like the moment the kick was in the wrong direction, and CG Esports decided to just force it.
What if this whole time his name isn't Hide on Brush? What if he's Hideon?
What if he's Faker? Maybe he's smurfing, I don't know. We don't know. With the Wishing Lantern in hand, cikugais is going to make him pay. At the very least now, cikugais is like, I've got enough utility. Hide on Bush, he shouldn't be a problem, just give me some time. Same goes for Steffe, but let's play the poking game. Let me and Ye3 do some work.
Oh, speaking of Ye3,
Yeah,
might actually find Hide on
this.
Bush here. Oh, Orochi still not using Final Slash, trying to get a bit more information before they actually try to go for a play. Now CG Esports pulls the objective towards their side.
Yeah, and you can see that, like, Ye3, he's basically taking negative damage, right? He's pretty tanky.
Oh, now Valence once again. He uses the Wave of Dragon on Hide on Bush. Was that the right target? Gary, though, gets the objective. And look at the amount of damage that's coming in from them. Onto the back lines. Ye3 successfully isolates Shin. Amzik with the free hits. And Hide on Bush once again on his 4th death of this game. Oh, Steffe though, will he get to pick out Amzik here?
Oh.
Ye3 helps him and he does not.
This is a very different CG. I don't... Right? Chico, he should be okay. Oh!
Oh!
Lethal
Still
ignition.
gets him with a lethal ignition. Burn too.
What?
Lots of fights, very scrappy. 24 kills. As we're heading into the 9th minute of the game, folks.
This has been one of the bloodier battles we've seen here at M7. Chico giving a huge shutdown over to Shin, though. I don't know if that was worth it, because now Shin is in a much better position now to actually scale back up into this game. And Ye3, let's see, does he have any MR? He's halfway there. Okay, still in the process of it.
Yeah, but so far this glue has been way too tanky for Black Santas to really think about, which is messing up their team fight, because Shin and Doom can't team fight comfortably. They always just have Ye3 standing up on them, grabbing them with the ultimate, messing up their flow, that it just leaves Hide on Bush and Orochi, excuse me, Hideon and Orochi to just now be at this. They're both 4 deaths apiece. Yeah, I think they have to think about the glue first before they start really fighting heavily, because it seems like the idea of, all right, let's ignore the glue, he's just gonna be there, is not working out well for Black Sentence.
I think that Shin and Doom need to split up, right? Because we know that Ye3 is going to try and get on a one or the other target, but Shin has Purify and Doom has Flicker. I would say that Purify is probably a more expendable spell in a lot of these situations, and considering that Orochi wants to displace his targets, I think the biggest problem right now is that half the fights that we see is Black Sentence chasing, and then by the time they realize that it's, oh wait, this is a potential trap, CG has already initiated, right? So start first, figure out where cikugais is. If they look like they're doing something silly, there's a good chance that cikugais is probably going to catch you at max range with RWM.
Because Ye3, every single time, he just links up with Gary, or Gary decides to link up with Ye3. So whoever he gets to find, and it's a bonus if they get to find Shin and Doom close together. So that's
I mean, it's right as oh, what a kick!
Good.
and they get to find Orochi, have the right amount of damage, and Gary once again onto the back lines. Still, somehow, Doom survives though, but that will then result into CG freely taking this Lord.
Yep, they should be able to get this.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it, but looking that Doom is going to the top side of the map and Steffe is just hovering around, it should be a guaranteed secure.
Chico has really set the tempo here for CG, 6-2 and 7. Yeah, once again, the link up. Black Santas has way too many divers and ultimates. Can Valence actually stop Doom from getting back?
Oh! The last phase of the Jeet could though!
Wait,
but then
might
the
get
damage
punished.
from Doom is a bit too much. He gets to deny the recall though. But Hide on Bush and Shin are there to help.
And even Ye3 was looking for a potential interception. Well, at least it didn't surmount too much, but now BSE at full fighting capacity, ready to deal with this upcoming Lord, despite being 5.2k down. And I think that it's a good approach. CG understand that their biggest problem is that if they initiate, Orochi could counter-initiate with Flicker, Final Slash. Oh, I don't know if that was...
The damage though.
I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah, Orochi didn't need to burn that. Now they're not going to have a Flicker and Final Slash for this defense, which means that second tower down, they'll be able to take the second tower up top, and Black Santas will now have to play from a massive deficit. What I like about CG Esports in this game so far, is that it feels like there's always someone somewhere. They're fighting one way. Gary can easily access the back line. Oh, Gary's a little bit still catching up to the team fight. Yeah, 3's already on them. Of course, we know how many angles Valens can initiate through. Well, Chico and Amzik have just been having the time of their life. Yes, it's 2 deaths on Chico. It's a single death on Amzik. But majority of the team fights that we've seen them in have been just them comfortable. Yes, they'll take some damage. Maybe they'll die here and there. But overall, it's a much better time compared to Doom and Shin, who it seems like every team fight is so demanding for them because all the members of Black Sentence decide to move forward and dive together. No one's really peeling for the back.
Yeah, nobody is designed to peel for the back. Maybe there's like an argument for like Steffe to like buy a little bit of time, but really you're not stopping Gary if he plays it perfectly, and that's the big issue. And I think when we're looking at how Hainan Bush and Orochi need to kind of like position themselves, a lot of it boils down to whether or not they see Amzik or cikugais. And now that Chiku is super far ahead, he's getting free poke on the front line. So when that happens, when Chiku comes up to go for that poke, Orochi needs to have his flicker final slash to punish.
Yeah, and the way that CG are making sure that they're positioned from the opposite side of wherever the final slash could come from. When we saw that even from Amzik earlier when he was handling the top lane, Orochi couldn't do much. Couldn't even commit on the final slash because they wouldn't be really putting Amzik in a dangerous position nonetheless. So now they're left to just defend with this 6.5k gold lead in the hands of CG Esports. But Valens, okay, he gets revealed by the Magic Sentry.
When we hit critical mass and somehow Black Sentence can come back through this, no way. Can they actually? Should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh!
Once again, Doom might just be safe from this feathered airstrike too, dealing a lot of damage, but there's the real world manipulation and the electrifying beats! Gary makes sure the job gets done, but then he goes down to Amzik still here, however, and there goes Ye3. Might have to get out of this though, because now they force the fight under the turret. Chiku finds the kill onto Steffe, and a mega kill for Amzik comes through.
It looks like it could be more here. Black Sentence forcing out the feathered airstrike from their own Shin just so that they can defend.
What? Oh, since the feathered airstrike was used on the minions, now
He
they
missed
can
the stun.
go for a
Oh, he's
round
dead.
2! Purify! Forced
kid.
out of Shin! And it's a wipeout! CG Esports successfully take down all 5 members!
This kid, wow, had he survived that, that was an endgame scenario. Chiku and as well as Valens would give up their lives to save that last minion, and they would just close out the game. He saw the stun come out, instantly flickered. He does not want to be disrespected like that. They've got to be careful. Amzik is playing a strong game here today. Even Doom, he's playing pretty strong, but the problem is that there's too much CC targeted towards him.
The gameplay for Valens is, or the game plan for him, told by CG is, dude, just kick Doom, even if you kick him the wrong direction, it's fine. Force out his flicker. I'm okay with it because every time they see that the flicker's gone from Granger, Gary has the easiest dive of his life just taking down Doom. And that's like 80% of the damage Black Sentence can dish out in a regular basis. Then they'll have to turn it around and play solely through their Farsa, who, again, it's so difficult for this Farsa to play.
Oh, Hainan Bush once again alongside Steffe and Orochi. They actually find a 2-man set with
Gary.
the final slash, but Gary once more. Who's gonna stop Gary from doing this? Hainan Bush falls next, and Gary still reaches for Shin. Steffe all alone, and finally the angle's right. Once more, CG Esports with the wipeout.
Beautiful, beautiful work coming in from CG's side. This is the, honest to God, this is the first time I've seen them play in this way. It's new, it's unique, I like it, and it truly speaks the brand CG. If you are gonna die, I will make your life worth it.
40 kills in total in 16 minutes and 22 seconds. To say that was action-packed would be accurate. To say that was the cleanest, not really. But man, was it entertaining. They put on a show. Black Sentence, though, in the end, outclassed, outmashed, and way too easy for that joy of Gary to access the main damage dealers. Match point for CG. Something I could ask Black Sentence to fix is you're going to end up with that, make sure you're taking your conditions. They kept fighting as if the joy was not there. But you cannot fight until you have info as to where the joy is.
I couldn't count the amount of times the Baxter Shield Unity was just used to dive onto members and everyone else would just follow.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the right call.
Just look at 90% of these fights. How do they always progress? It's always, I wait for Shin to do something, then I let loose, right? Because then you know the borders of exactly how far you need to be to really get some major value. And obviously we're looking at like the last few fights, but this similar scenario has happened at least 3 times.
There has to be a lot fixed up here by Black Sentis in terms of their decision making. They could have made this draft work. The glue ultimately still would have been very problematic to deal with. But you saw it. They were able to fight it out. They were making CG struggle. They were being able to dance with them. But in the end, forgetting about the joy, not respecting how easy it is. For a joy to access the back line became their doom. No pun intended.
It's just...
Zoom was also there.
Yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game for BSE no matter what, right? Because again, they were looking for scenarios where they actually traded up. The most they got was traded evenly, or they were punching down, which is again a large reason why we saw the gold deficit end up the way that it was, right? It was a 6K deficit overall, but generally speaking, if they could have minimized the damage with the timings of their fights, they could probably negate it down to about 2 and get like, I don't know, at least 60% discount off the deficit.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it was even approaching 10K. That was like how many times did we see them? Twice. There was a 2-time wipeout throughout that entire game. And it's as if BSE did not learn their lesson from from the repeated approach that they did in the team fights.
Yeah.
It's not like they did something different. They didn't do anything different. It was the exact same procedure all over again for all the team fights that we saw. And by the time you realize it's not working, you should expect that something would change, but they didn't.
Well, I think I think they'll understand why they made the mistakes when they VOD review, right? Because when we're talking about a line of sight or how much vision they actually have, I don't think Shin saw exactly where cikugais was actually sitting when the RWM happened. He was doing it in the bush halfway across the world, and 90% of the time, the rest of the team is trying to look. Even Steffe made a point to try and look for Chico ahead of time, just to be like, where exactly is he? And then you don't have the final slash to counter engage, and then the resources start falling through. And of course, Gary, once he's scaled up, there's no counterplay.
I'll give it to Black Sentis. They had a lot of pretty sick initiations. Like, oh, cool. Nice final slash, bro. Great bump with the shield unity. What crowd control ability do you have left, man? Here comes the joy. Here comes the rest of CG. You have nothing to deal with the glue anymore. Poor Shin, poor Doom. Which Shin and Doom positioned as well as anyone could in this game. But of course, Gary is going to have an easy time every time if all crowd control abilities were already used and there's nothing to lock down this joy. Your lineup already doesn't have the hard target lockdown other than the Hilda.
No.
Can't blame Steffe. He'd want to be able to use it to start things off for punish. He went 5-5-4. That's an impressive stat line. But Haidut, Bush, and Orochi could have timed their crowd control much better.
Yeah, but even if they didn't want to use the Hilda to look for engages, right? We're so used to seeing the Hildas just being the guy looking or going from behind, but I think this is your time.
Yeah, no, I think you guys have great points, because at the end of the day, it's about the way that you manage the fights. As we see these fights continue to progress time and time again, right, a lot of it comes down to, can we actually get access to the back line? And Ye3 shows right here that he became an invincible wall of meat. Let's pause this for a moment, right? In the middle of this fight, as you can see, a lot of the members here, and especially where cikugais' position is on this side, it's clear that he wants the RWM, but he doesn't let the RWM loose whenever he feels like it, right? He's particularly looking for a target. A lot of it comes down to where exactly is Shin, where exactly is Doom. And 90% of the time, they know that this tri-brush is going to be the most important area that they want to actually contest for. But they don't want to face check it. They gotta let their opponents come in first. Why? Orochi is their biggest stopper. If Orochi has ult, they are nervous to walk in. If they clump up too close together, they will die. And as soon as it happens, the RWM pops in the nick of time, and he's always outside of the range of the feathered airstrike. Now, this is one attempt. This is, well, technically the second attempt of the RWMs. This is the third. Once again, he's getting blasted down, but there's not enough shots on him. We're going to see another RWM almost immediately after this as well. These fights are predetermined by these ults. And the most important part is whether or not Shin is in range. If he's out of range, you eliminate one huge possibility. If you don't have their ults, that means Yetri and Joy can just walk in for free. Which is why Amzik, no stun, I kill you. Simple as that.
How many times have we seen this happen? There's another
That's
final
four.
flash that they did though. Or that's the fourth real world.
A lot of these highlights look very similar.
Yes, you see? It's the same formula being reproduced and given to the public in mass quantities.
Gotta change things up. Black Sentence.
Yeah, they...
Gotta change up your timings a little bit.
Yeah. Just gotta get those views up real quick.
yeah. Why was I punching my... I mean,
It adds to the intensity.
it gets so frustrating at times.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's a very similar feeling to our last best of 3, but this one, I really think the BSE had a pretty decent idea, but they don't realize how valuable some of these resources are. Like, yes, the final slash is pretty short, but as soon as you whiff it, you're gonna see an instant response. And Yetri is just like, I'm waiting for you. He's 0-1 and 17.
Yeah, I wonder how things would have been if CG were the ones to be to start the fight, or like how could have BSE utilized their resources to turn things around? Maybe even just when Shin, or during that point in the game where Shin got the shutdowns or got a bit more gold and was able to catch up, because all the initiations started from BSE, and it's not like all these initiations were on point or on to the right targets. So it immediately resulted to wasted resources. Like, there's no other way to put it.
I think the few adjustments that they could have made is probably towards understanding why Chiku wanted to go for this Yeeve pick, right? I think this Yeeve would have worked phenomenally if Shin had access to it, considering what their lineup is all about. As much as they want to have that quote-unquote burst, the peel is a lot more valuable when you are playing against like a tank style, and more so to deny it from your opponent, because now Hagedon Bush isn't afraid of a Wishing Lantern anymore.
So much control on the side of CG that